that way.
And Nayyera, you work for the State Department. I'm sure you would concur that that is the normal way that things take place. We now get more and more information dripping out that this may have been conversations about lifting sanctions. And this period of time is actually very interesting timeline-wise, because mid-December, the Obama administration had not yet implemented the new sanctions on the Russians for the hacking of the DNC. That didn't happen until the announcement of it was December 30th. So you're in this period where the Obama administration is deciding what they're going to do in response to the intelligence services saying that Russia hacked in and interfered our election. And in that interregnum, you have the Trump incoming people trying to get these back channels to happen. And there may have been discussions about lifting the previous sanctions. They would have been talking about lifting the Crimea-related sanctions on the Russians. So what do you make of the fact that now, you fast forward, the Washington Post has a story this past week about the Trump administration trying to essentially lift the new sanctions, to lift the sanctions that had to do with hacking our very election by returning the Maryland and Long Island compounds that were seized by the United States and taken away from the Russians. What do you make of that?
Context is key, and the context points to this being a quid pro quo situation. It really does look like Jared Kushner, as the son-in-law and connected directly to the president, was having these meetings so that he could make things easier for the Russians down the line in exchange for helping his father-in-law get elected to the presidency. That's part of the problem of this family not understanding how government works. They actually could have created a better or different relationship with the Russians had they used the State Department and the existing channels. There's no problem with wanting to have a different relationship with Russia when you are new commander-in-chief. The problem is trying to avoid all government sources, all government access and channels to have an objective that is fundamentally about reward, give and take, and deal-making related to family connections.
And Malcolm, these two complexes, the Obama administration believed were actually used for espionage.